Every 3 weeks, we produce as much solar power as we did in all of 2008. And just last month, the world's largest solar installation came online in the California desert. The solar industry is adding jobs 10 times faster than the rest of the economy. And meanwhile, thanks to lower gas prices and higher fuel standards, the typical family this year should save more than $700 at the pump. We believed that sensible regulations could prevent another crisis and shield families from ruin and encourage fair competition. And today we've got the tools to stop taxpayer-funded bailouts. We've got a new consumer watchdog to protect families from predatory lending and credit card practices, saving billions of dollars to American consumers. Oh, and by the way, there's this thing called the Affordable Care Act. More than 16 million more Americans have gained the security of health care coverage. We've cut the ranks of the uninsured by a third, thanks to some tough, proud votes by these members of Congress. Last year, the growth in health care premiums, costs for business, matched its lowest level on record. If premiums had kept on growing over the last 4 years at the rate they had in the previous decade, the average family premium would be $1,800 higher than it is today. Now, we don't get a lot of credit for that. But keep in mind that some of the reforms that we're putting in place are not only giving more people insurance, but we're actually reducing the overall costs, $1,800 in people's pockets. They don't notice it because it's what didn't happen. That's $1,800 that firms can use to hire and invest. $1,800 that you're spending on a computer for your kids or to help pay down debt and stabilize your finances or put into retirement. And finally, we believed that we could lay this new foundation for growth while still getting our fiscal house in order. You'll recall that when I first came into office, deficits were skyrocketing, partly because the economy was plummeting, less tax revenue coming in, more going out. And the notion was that the steps we took to ensure the economy recovered was going to cause even higher deficits. Red ink, as far as the eye could see. Well, since I took office, we've cut our deficits as a share of our economy by about 2/3. 2/3. And looking forward, our long-term deficit projections have improved as well, in part because we've done such a good job in controlling health care costs. The Affordable Care Act alone will cut our deficits by more than $1 trillion over the next 2 decades. The slowing growth in health care costs has saved the Medicare system tens of billions of dollars. Health care was the single biggest factor driving up our projected deficits. It's now the single biggest factor driving them down. This is progress that every American can be proud of. Now, we've got a long way to go. I am not satisfied. I know you aren't either. We've got a lot more work to do. Any American will tell you that. But we have emerged from what was a once-in-a-generation crisis better positioned for the future than any of our competitors. We've picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off, retooled, retrained, refocused. The United States of America is coming back. Now, I want to return to the issue of the debate that we were having then, because it bears on the debate we're having now. It's important to note that at every step that we've taken over the past 6 years, we were told our goals were misguided, they were too ambitious, that my administration's policies would crush jobs and explode deficits and destroy the economy forever. Remember that? Because sometimes we don't do the instant replay. We don't run the tape back. And then we end up having the same argument going forward. One Republican in Congress warned our policies would diminish employment and diminish stock prices. Diminish stock prices. Stock market's doubled since I came into office. Corporate balance sheets are stronger than they have ever been because of my terrible business policies. One Republican senator claimed we faced trillion-dollar deficits as far as the eye can see. Another predicted my re-election would spike gas prices to $6.60 a gallon. I don't know how he came up with that figure. $6.60. My opponent in that last election pledged that he could bring down the unemployment rate to 6% by 2016. Next year. At the end of next year. It's 5.5 now.